Last episode, we looked at something different, a new Formula One car from Ferrari called the Ferrari F-150. I'm Michelle Rahal with the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com. This episode, it's about a car that you've never heard of, but you probably should have, if it weren't for one small problem: pesky Japanese investors. I first met Vern Schuppan at Road America in 1979 when my uncle introduced us. I had no idea that I was going to meet him again in 1998 and then we'd become friends. Well, at the time I was unaware that he'd ever produced one of the world's great supercars, but once we started talking, I soon discovered that he'd not only been a great racing driver, but a visionary as well. Vern raced everything in his career from Formula One to IndyCar, and then he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in a Rothman's factory Porsche 956 with Hurley Haywood and the late Al Holbert. For me, this would have been a crowning achievement that would have necessitated my moving further into the Everglades and fishing till I dropped dead. But not Vern. He produced this, a true supercar built on sound technology and performance. Now, while it's true that $2 million was an extraordinary price to pay for any car, especially in 1994, this one was different. It was his own chassis and the Porsche components, and the design only capped off the beauty of it. The Schuppan 962CR was doomed to suffer the slings and arrows of a world economy gone bad, and a few Japanese investors that took delivery of two of his cars and never paid him. This car had 600 horsepower derived from a 3.3-liter flat-six twin-turbo Porsche engine and had a top speed of 230 miles an hour. Its lines only refined what Porsche had built as a racing car and put it squarely on the street, but it wasn't meant to be. It took steel nerves for Vern to pull himself back up from a devastating bankruptcy and keep going. But he did it. And these days, Vern's content to enjoy himself by driving the Goodwood Festival and accepting awards into elite drivers clubs. But the one thing that always sticks with me when I think of Vern is when he stopped over at my house and spent the night. Vern had a sense of humor, and I tested it. I put this very same rubber cockroach that you see here, now affectionately known as Vern, under his pillow. We waited for half an hour, and then out of nowhere, a blood-curdling scream of an Aussie gone wild rang through the night. It was glorious. The 5 or 6 cars that were built are now carefully cared for in private collections, but even the cars of today have a tough time surpassing this one. For the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com, I'm Michelle Rahal. Next up, we take a trip down memory lane with the Jaguar series of roadsters.